Breakthroughs. Turns out one of the biggest discoveries is actually this tiny. See how small that is? This little chip may be the next big thing, and it sounds like it's right from a sci-fi movie, but people all over the world are implanting these into their wrists. So I asked my producer, Dean, to find out more about this cutting-edge technology and what it could mean for your health.
It's how we buy things, watch things, how we date, stay safe, even how we travel.
Paul? Cool. We're so attracted to our devices that they're basically becoming a part of our bodies. But what if they really could become a part of our bodies? Well, guess what? They can. Meet the RFID microchip.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As I've mentioned on this show before, these celebrities are going to roll in, as they do now, roll in agendas, push agendas like the race war and all this stuff. But these celebrities are being used to push along anything that the New World Order sees fit, because the masses are under mind control and look up to these idols, and whatever the idols tell you to say, such as who to vote for, these people will go along with. Now, I've talked about Dr. Oz on this show, the shill that is Dr. Oz, the puppet of Oprah Winfrey, Satanist Oprah Winfrey, Dr. Oz with his own show, America's Comfortable with Dr. Oz, whatever Dr. Oz recommends, if you should eat more kale or have more vitamin D, people go out and they buy the vitamin D and the kale, whatever Dr. Oz says, everybody goes along with it because that's how the mind control works. He wouldn't have his own TV show if he didn't know what he was talking about, right? No, he wouldn't have his own TV show if he wasn't part of the New World Order agenda. And as always, no surprise here, another one of these quacks, another one of these Jack Kevorkian so-called doctors now coming forward on national television. Remember, Dr. Oz, somebody people trust in, coming out and telling you that the next big thing is the RFID microchip. Letting you know that it's safe, letting you know that it's good for your health, and then telling us why. Now, Dr. Oz, as I talked about, gave that interview with Donald Trump when he revealed his medical records, all part of the show. Dr. Oz is just a complete sellout. He is part of this New World Order. He is gaining the trust of the masses so that he can go forward, and these other fake doctors on television and these talking heads on TV can go forward and brainwash the masses because they trust in them to get this RFID microchip. They will be convincing them that it's safe, that it's good, that they need to get it, just like he does in this video, which I've left linked up below. It is absolutely disgraceful. They're calling it the cutting edge in technology. Not a coincidence that Dr. Oz is seen putting the chip in his right hand, Revelation 13:17. And the second beast required all people, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, the name of the beast, or the number of its name. And here we see, coincidentally, of course, because everybody believes in coincidences. Well, I don't. Coincidentally, though, Dr. Oz just happens to be putting it in his right hand as he says, wow, this is going to be kind of cool, everybody. Hey, guys, let's talk about this RFID microchipping, this cutting-edge technology. Let's take a look deeper into it. And, of course, they cut to a millennial because they're using the millennials to push this. That's all part of it. The millennials are the ones who are accepting of this, who are lazy, who don't want to have wallets in their pocket because apparently it's so difficult to carry a wallet around. It's just so hard to have a wallet in your pocket. The millennials want it on their phone. They want it on their devices. They're trusting in the government. They're clueless about everything that's going on. So they use this millennial to coming down the street with his headphones on. Hey guys, cool. Wouldn't it be cool if you can get a chip in your arm or your wrist or your hand so you don't have to carry stuff around? Wouldn't that be awesome? So he goes on to say, you can buy groceries. It'll be easy to get identified at the airport. You won't no longer will you have to carry around a driver's license, keys, your passport, or your wallet because it'll all be ingrained in the chip. And I've been saying this for quite some time. They're going to use these celebrities to get this chip across. People like Kim Kardashian, and I don't think it's a coincidence at all that Kim Kardashian was robbed of money and jewelry and all this stuff. All these things that occur, I believe that there's going to be many of these, fake cyber attacks where people get out, they claim, 1 million people got hacked. They got their bank account information and all this stuff to get people in fear and panic so that they can say, listen, you don't have to worry about your identification getting stolen or money getting stolen because it's all going to be in your wrist and your body. No one can steal it from you. There'll be no more thieves. Everybody will say, oh, that's incredible. And they'll go along with it. And they're going to use these celebrities to endorse it and promote it. Kardashians will be doing it, making it look cool and easy as they shop. Other people on television, other reality stars will use it. We've already seen it in movies, the technology in sci-fi films. And of course, they use sci-fi. Every time I've seen a video talking about the microchip, they go, I know, it sounds crazy, right? Like something out of a sci-fi movie. That is part of the psyop. That is part of the mind control. They're telling you, oh, you've seen it in sci-fi, but don't be afraid. I know, it seems crazy, right? But it's real now. That technology's here. Cool. Get it in your wrist. Take the mark. And people are falling for it, hook, line, and sinker. And it's really, really, really sad. So they go on to talk about how 10,000 people already are chipped, according to this video clip and this millennial guy that's talking. They then use fear, of course, to scare people. And they say, listen, just imagine you were rushed to the hospital, you got in an accident, and you didn't have your ID on you. What the chip will do is when you get to the hospital, the doctor will scan your wrist, and immediately he'll have your medical history. He'll be able to see what allergies you have, what medication you have, or what medication you take, and what blood type you are. So they're using fear, and they're using this, oh, just imagine, you're going to need this. And of course, the video ends with probably the most ridiculous line I think I've ever heard in regards to the microchip. The guy says, the chip won't just change your life. One day it could save it. I repeat, the chip won't just change your life. One day the chip will save it. Now, wow, talk about deep-rooted meaning to that. Maybe he's referring to a time where they're going to force everyone to get the microchip, and when Christians refuse to get it, they're going to be killed or thrown in FEMA camps. So they're saying, listen, there's going to come a time where you're going to have to take the chip if you want to continue to live in this world, or you're going to get thrown in a FEMA camp. So it might save your life by getting the chip. The mind control is deep-rooted with the microchip. This is unbelievable that, they've been getting away with this stuff every day in mass media. All this stuff they get away with shows you how dumbed down our society is through the chemtrails, like I always say, the chemicals, but not even just that. Everybody is so trusting in all of these people. They don't realize that they're under mind control because they refuse to believe in it, but they put their trust in someone like Dr. Oz. Never met him. Don't know what his personal life was like. If you found out that Dr. Oz was involved in some satanic thing or something like that, would they trust him then? No. But they portray him as, oh, he's so great. Oprah endorses him. He's got his own show. And then they would say, well, you don't have your own show and he does. Well, that's because, other doctors out there aren't making ritual sacrifices like Dr. Oz is. They aren't part of the occult. They aren't part of the New World Order agenda. Many of them are, though. But not all of them. Dr. Oz has been hand-selected to do this. He comes across genuine. He comes across nice. Everybody seems to love Dr. Oz. And that is exactly what they've done with him. They've created this image of trust. And whatever he says, people go along with it. They trust in him. There's no scandals around him. There's nothing negative, in the way he talks. He's so positive. He's so wonderful. So now that they have Dr. Oz pushing the microchip, people out there who are a little bit fearful are going to say, well, Dr. Oz is saying that the microchip is healthy, and then I don't have to bring my wallet around anymore, carry that passport, because, it's 100 pounds for me to carry my passport to the airport. I couldn't do that. I mean, I can get it all on a chip, right? And then in the event that maybe I get in a car accident or something like that, and my wallet flings out of my pocket or my purse, well, then when I go to the hospital, they're going to scam me, so they'll know what I'm allergic to. Give me a break. They are going to continue to use the mainstream media to push this microchip. Dr. Oz is a fraud. All of these guys are a fraud. If you can't see the agenda, I don't know how blind you can be to see this agenda, how they've been talking about the microchip, and they're going out of their way. They're using the same trigger words. They're talking about sci-fi in all of these videos, saying, I know, it sounds like sci-fi. This is all part of the mind control. They are easing people's fears. They are putting trustworthy people that they've, the image of trustworthy people that they've created through the mind control out there promoting this. They're even saying, well, dogs have this technology, or animals, have this technology, when they have to travel to other countries. Sometimes you have to get them chip, and your phone has it. Isn't that cool? And you won't need this stuff. I mean, we already have it with our watches and our phones and all this stuff, and our Nike fuel bracelets or whatever those things are that people run around wearing when they track their calories. All of it conditioning, all of it seems to be working. As of course the crowd wasn't fearful. Nobody was saying anything about the mark of the beast, it potentially being the mark of the beast or anything like that. Just people nodding, saying, yes, it's going to be easier. And I'm telling you, they're going to use fear to push this and promote this. They're going to come across and say that it's safe, that it's wonderful, that you don't have to worry about all of this stuff. Then they're going to use these fear events like, the Yahoo cyber attack that occurred. They're going to say, listen, all these attacks are happening, all these cyber attacks are happening now that we know, the internet has transferred over. They're going to use that because they've created fear and panic with that as well. And they're going to say, oh, Russia or other countries are stealing your information. You got, somebody got hacked over here, somebody got hacked over there. Massive hacks will occur. People's identities will be stolen. We'll hear about it in the mainstream media. It'll all be a psyop. It'll all be, part of this staged event. And people will be begging for the microchip. That's how insane this is. Just like I've been saying, they're begging for martial law. How crazy does that sound? The masses are begging for martial law. They have convinced them that that's what we need. And I've been saying it over and over because people think they're going to wake up with tanks at their door and it's going to be forced. The masses are going to want these things. That's how the psyop and the mind control works. They're convincing everybody into wanting what they want, and it's working. So they're going to get their martial law through this race war psyop that they've created. They're going to get people microchip because they're going to create fearful events. They're going to say, what's the big deal? Nobody's dying from the microchip. Eventually, they'll say it's mandatory for everybody to have it at some point, but they won't force it at first. People will be willingly getting it gradually, and over time, just like, you went from VHSs to DVDs. They didn't get rid of tapes all at one time and scare everybody and say, oh, you got to throw out your tape player. It took time for people to evolve. That's what will happen. Right, they'll start it. It's at 10,000 now. They claim. Who knows what the number really is? But people will be willingly getting it, and then over time they'll say, "Listen, everything's going to be electronic. There's not going to be money anymore or cash. It's going to be a cashless society," which they're already pushing with PayPal, which they're already pushing, saying that it's better to be a cashless society. Everybody does things electronically as it is. Nobody should be carrying cash around. Nobody's going to need a wallet anymore, and we're going to have a one world currency. All of this stuff is part of the New World Order plan. So here you have Dr. Oz promoting the beginning of probably will be many times where he'll be promoting the microchip. This is probably a test drive for them to say, all right, let's see what the feedback is on Dr. Oz saying, oh, it's also healthy for you and it's not a big deal. And, rolling out that video where Dr. Oz says, let's see the benefits. And then they show you all these bogus benefits to convince people. This will be the beginning of a massive, massive propaganda movement to push the microchip. Dr. Oz will be somebody that's at the forefront. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. He is considered trustworthy. The masses out there follow him and trust in him. And remember, the microchip, which will be about money and personal identification and all those things, is not necessarily related to something medically, but they need someone who is a doctor or a trusted doctor to come forward so people aren't fearful that they might get a disease from having it inside of them or what'll happen when it's in them. They won't talk about what the capabilities of the chip, controlling your mind and these other things that are going to go on. They won't talk about the mark of the beast or any of that stuff, of course. And if they do, they'll blow it off. So they'll probably bring it up and laugh it off and use, humor and sarcasm as they always do to discredit it. And then the masses out there will laugh it off too. And of course, push it as, oh, the Christians out there reading the Bible are getting too crazy about this stuff. It's exactly what they want. It's amazing how dumbed down society is, but this is the way it's going to continue to go. And people are going to put their trust in these guys and they're going to go along with their agendas and they're going to ask for it. So they're asking for martial law. Soon people will be clamoring and asking for the microchip in their wrists because they're going to use these fear tactics, these cyber attacks, these robberies, all of this stuff, and they're going to say life will be easier with the chip, and people will get scared into doing it, and then people will see other people don't have, illnesses from it or whatever could happen, then they'll go, oh, look, they're fine, they got it, all right, I'll get it, and that's how it's all going to go down. It's all a massive psyop, it's all mind control, and everybody's falling for it. So here's Dr. Oz promoting the microchip. Give me a break. Thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.